Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, thank you everybody for joining our webinar about making money with short-term rentals. My name is Charlie. I am the head of sales here at Pillow, and I've been with the company virtually since its inception about 4 years ago. In that time, we've gained a deep knowledge about the short-term rental market, as well as everything from the day-to-day management and best practices for hosting, as well as what it takes to support each guest to ensure a consistent experience time and time again. Just a couple of housekeeping notes before we get rolling here. There's a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Feel free to plug in any questions along the way that you might have. Our team will be answering those as we go, as well as at the end of the webinar. In addition, following this presentation, you will be receiving the email follow-up from us, including a link to the recording of this presentation as well. So be looking out for that. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and get started. And where we want to start is just generally wanted to address some key terms so that we understand kind of what we're talking about through the presentation when we refer to different terms. So the first one is going to be short-term rentals. Rentals of less than 30 days with periodic subletting of your home. So essentially, if you're renting anything for less than 30 days, that constitutes a short-term rental. Next, we have Airbnb. Obviously, Airbnb is the largest marketplace for individuals to connect with guests to share their places for supplemental income on a short-term rental basis. So, again, a marketplace where this is where you're going to list properties, this is where you're hosting properties, and kind of the means for communications throughout the experience. The third one is going to be Pillow Residential. What is Pillow Residential? It is the program that is going to provide access for tenants to occasionally sublet their place with the building owner's approval. So that's where we come in, and we'll be getting into that here shortly. And then the last one is host. Host is you, essentially. It's the individual or group who opens up their home to guests for the added benefit of profit and or friendship. So you hosting your space for a guest to come in and enjoy. So why is Pillow here, you might be asking? Our goal is to provide a secure amenity to each resident, allowing you to rent your properties while you're away to earn some additional income. So while you're away, giving you the ability to supplement your rent or whatever you would like to use that income for. It is a huge advantage for you in your building as well as all of your neighbors. And if we talk about the process before Pillow comes into play, it was a situation where if you look at your lease agreement, it likely says something to the effect of no subletting. If you were to sublet your unit, essentially you're in violation of your lease. You could receive an eviction notice, a warning notice, fines. Different buildings operate different ways, but essentially it was in violation of your lease, putting your standing in that building at risk. So where Pillow comes in, we've actually partnered with your building. We have the building is now giving every resident the amenity and the ability to short-term rent their space under some of their controls. So we're kind of the connective tissue between the building and the residents to enable this practice to happen in an effective and secure way, which is very important. Obviously, security to the building, security for your neighbors. We're kind of opening that level of transparency for the buildings as well, again, allowing this to occur. So just to compare and contrast, Airbnb and Pillow, what the differences are. So if we go back to the beginning where we talked about the key terms, Airbnb essentially is the marketplace for you. Individual hosts are going to use Airbnb as their means for communications with guests, booking guests, communicating with their guests, and just going through the process of having a successful hosting experience. So that really is where all of the transactions take place. Pillow's here to kind of aid that effort for you. So doing things like automatically creating listings, facilitating guest check-ins, ensuring that everybody's in compliance, the building knows who's in the building at all times, so it's secure for all of the other residents of the building. Pillow, again, as I mentioned, is that layer that is going to allow the building to monitor what is happening so that, again, it's secure for all of the residents within the building. It's now legal in your building. If we go back, it was in violation of your lease before. Pillow is allowing this to happen. So we're really, really excited to bring this to your building and have this effective amenity for you to make some additional income. And if we want to talk about the cost structure and what that looks like, essentially the building is taking a percentage of the revenue, but we're going to make sure that the lion's share of the revenue is left to you, the resident. So whatever you decided to use this, additional income for, whether it be reducing your rent, hosting guests that you want, this is all happening with your building's approval. Again, they're going to take a small cut of it, but ultimately the lion's share, majority share of the revenues is going to still maintain, is still going to belong to you. So again, really excited again to have this building approval and enable it in the building in a secure fashion. So what do other hosts do? You all might be thinking about, how am I going to do this? How often am I going to do this? Do I have to do this? So most guests don't have 365 days per year open. That's not something that we're encouraging. That's not something that we're seeing. That's not something that essentially your building's set up to want. So it's totally okay if this is a part-time endeavor to do occasionally. Hosting doesn't mean that you're renting your entire space. If you had a spare bedroom or something like that, you can obviously rent that out and host guests in that form. You can be in town. You don't have to be gone. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. And again, we are here to assist in facilitating that and making sure that it's effective for you. 10 to 15 nights per month is going to be a strong performance level for you. So having that type of availability, again, you don't have to book dates that you make available. You can leave those open as an option for you to book if you choose to. There's different levels of hosts as well. Some people are power hosts, other people are a lot more casual about it. Power hosts, as you can see here on the screen, are making upwards of $15,000 in additional revenue per year. If you kind of break that down, if you were to open just a weekend or two per month, you could make $5,000 a year. So there's significant income here that increasing rents can be softened by taking in this income and utilizing it to your advantage. And just to kind of segue into, we'll go through a couple of case studies here about what some folks are doing as far as their average revenues and how much money they're making per night, how many dates they're making available. So this is Micah. Micah's average revenue per night is $80. She is averaging $240 per month. 6 nights available per month is all that she's doing. So if you look at 6 nights per month, it probably speaks to the fact that she's doing weekends while she's away, right? So 6 nights per month is, generating that $240 for her, whatever her rent is. That's essentially a discount on the rent if you look at it that way. Of those 6 nights available, she's only booking 50% of those. So it's not every night that's made available again, and there's significant opportunity at revenue here. Moving on to Katie and Sam. So Katie and Sam are making a little bit more, $95 per night. They are averaging $740 per month. 13 nights per month are made available at a 60% booking rate. So they leave town, they travel, they go on vacations with friends and family, they go visit people. Different situations for them, but they're able to generate that additional $740 per month. So again, it just kind of speaks to how significant this type of revenue is. And rather than leaving your space empty, why not do something to take advantage of it and create that advantage for yourself? And then moving along to Jake. So working things up here, he's making $177 per night, $1,350 per month, with about 10 nights open and a 76% booking rate. So these stats, again, show that if you host more and more, you gain more and more traction. There's more and more opportunity at high reviews, guest satisfaction that's going to help your listing perform. So it might even enable you to travel more than you already do. Again, utilizing that significant income to boost things along and make yourself, create an opportunity for yourself again to get away and do things that you might not have had the opportunity to do as often before. And so I think the obvious piece here to touch on is just why should I do this? Well, in my opinion, why not, right? There's the opportunity at significant revenues for you, and rather than having your space effectively be a storage unit while you're away, why not take advantage of the space and provide an experience for guests that are coming from out of town. One of the really cool things for me as a host is obviously I'm making some additional money here, and I use it to take a discount on my rent or pay my bills, maybe travel, groceries. There's a number of different applications that you can utilize this income for. But one of the most rewarding things for me and the fun parts for me is just being a host, talking with guests, and meeting people from all different walks of life throughout the country. I'm able to speak with these folks extensively before I book them. So it's really exciting to get to meet and know people, and I've held some relationships with folks that I've met that I've shared my space with while they were here that don't even live in the U.S. So it's a really exciting thing and gives you the opportunity to kind of network outside of your general boundaries. So again, getting started, what our goal was is I could sing the Michael Jackson song ABC 1 2 3 here, but we want to make it as simple as possible to sign up and get started with Pillow. So there's generally, you'll see some communications from us. You'll learn about Pillow Residential. You'll sign up for the program, and you'll link an Airbnb account. By doing those simple 3 things, we can get you registered, we can get you in compliance with the building, and make sure that everybody is on the same page. Throughout this process, should you need additional assistance, we do have our team here that's willing and able to help you throughout the endeavor to make sure that it's a productive experience for you. We want to make it as easy as possible to get signed up, so that's our goal here. And then one other thing I want to plug really quickly is just kind of our sense of community. So we've created a Facebook group page that everybody we work with is able to register and be a part of, right? So it's an opportunity to speak with peers in different buildings or different places that might be having similar experiences to you, maybe bounce some ideas off of each other. We post content there as well as far as tips and tricks, best practices for hosting, and this is just kind of an open community forum for everybody to communicate and help each other out. So again, we post, other people post that use this services, so a really, really strong tool for folks interested. So highly encourage this here. So I hope that wasn't too painful. Again, we're excited to have the opportunity to work with you guys. We will start to answer here. Again, you still have the opportunity to add some additional questions to that Q&A box, so feel free to do so, and we'll be answering those. And then once again, as a reminder, there will be an email follow-up after this, including the link to this recording, so that you can review it on your own time as well. So just diving into the questions here. To go back, if you have any questions specific to your building as well, feel free, obviously, to add those. We're excited to answer those as well, and we'll definitely help out with that. So a handful of questions. A lot of people are asking, what if I don't want this in my building? Really, really happy this question came up. It's one that we take very seriously and obviously understand the concern. You want to know what's happening in your building. And the fact of the matter is that this is something, short-term rentals are something that are occurring already. It's something that your neighbors are doing without the building's permission. It's something that the building doesn't understand and know exactly what's happening in that unit at all times. So the fact that it's happening already, if Pillow can come in and provide the building management with a sense of, provide them with the transparency that they need to know what's happening in each and every unit, it's making it a very secure endeavor for the building. So again, to compare and contrast, it is happening now. Residents are doing this, and there's no monitoring of the activity that they're doing. So there's really no sense of security there. So this program is something that allows the building to allow it, but more importantly, gives them the security that the residents can kind of have a peace of mind about. So I hope that that's helpful. The other one is, do I have to do this? Well, we wish everybody would do it, and we think that there's a reason to. We understand that it's not for everyone. This is something that's purely optional. Through the Pillow platform, there will be all the information that you can use to opt in. Again, we'll educate you and highly encourage the activity here and making sure that everybody has a productive experience. So I, again, highly encourage you to, especially to reach out seek more information, do some research on it a little bit further, and we hope to create a host out of you in the future. And then the other question I have here is, what do I do with my stuff? Which is obviously a valid question, right? This is your home. This has your items and belongings. There's different means to store things. Obviously, you're going to want to pay attention to valuables just for a little bit of peace of mind. But one of the great things about this, as I mentioned earlier, is the ability to really get to know the person that you're letting come stay at your place. So again, it can be a fun experience, but ultimately it's an experience where you can, again, have that level of comfort with folks coming into your home. But storing away your valuable items, whether you have a safe or something like that in a closet, there's different ways to do this. Every building has a different kind of makeup. So that's something that we're willing to and have a lot of information, tips, and tricks on to help you find the right way to effectively host again. And then how do I host guests? So to round things out again, going back to the beginning where we talked about Airbnb kind of being that communication channel where the transactions are happening, the bookings are happening. This is where you get to communicate. This is where you get to chat with folks and get a good understanding of who you're allowing to book your place. So I can't reiterate enough how fun it can be to meet different people from all different walks of life, to understand why they're in town, maybe help them around town, give them some favorite restaurants or things like that so that they can take advantage of your personal taste in the city. So it's a really exciting thing. And again, we at Pillow are here to be the experts to help you host, help you effectively communicate with guests, and really make this an exciting endeavor. So again, thank you all for joining. Really, really appreciate the time. And we have the ability to follow up with you further for more information.